Okay, guys, let's see if we can get started here. Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, yeah, so last night, yesterday, I was saying on the stream for the practice with me that I was going to start looking at Alan Murray Bouzouki stuff and Alec Finn Bouzouki stuff and see if we can take one of their pieces or maybe a piece a week type of thing and see if we can break down what they're doing, what they're playing and everything. So we're going to try that tonight, but what I'm going to do first of all is record one of the tracks, or at least try and learn one of the tracks on the whistle so we can have something to accompany, have something to play along with. So I'm going to show you guys, if I just hop over to my desktop for a second, and hopefully you guys can see that. And actually, before I do that, always check my audio, always. And see if we can break down what they're doing. Yep, okay, the audio's coming through, and the video is too. Okay, good. Radio. Let's see. I should have something that I can accompany. I think it's in here. I've been making these over the last couple of weeks, as you guys know. So this is going out onto the website. I've got 3 of them so far. I think the G dark and the D dark jig rhythms are pretty good. You know, it's half recorded, half you know, synthetic, I suppose. You know, stuff that you get inside of Logic Pro. So, but it's pretty good. Like the bouzouki's all real the whole way through it. The bouzouki accompaniment, I think the guitar strumming is real as well. One of the borons is real, one of them isn't. And there's a couple of other wee like things that I've added in. So see what you guys think. I'm going to use the G one, I think, tonight. There's 2 versions of it. I think the dark one is better. Just have a wee listen when I go and find. Make sure that actually comes through. No, let me just check. There we go. I just want to see if that is coming through as well on the live. Make sure that actually comes through. No, let me just check. There we go. Okay, it's coming through on the live. Now, if I was to play along with myself on the whistle to see is this going to work, because now it's just a little file. Last time I tried to do this, I tried to do it through Logic, which was a bit stupid because Logic requires a lot of RAM, you know, for every single track. So it was delayed and it was off. And what I was hearing and accompanying was in time, but what was being processed wasn't. So hopefully now that it's all been made into a sort of, it's not a final track, it hasn't been mastered or anything, but it'll do. And I just want to make sure that I can actually practice along with the tin whistle to this. So if I take out the microphone and add the tin whistle audio, it shouldn't sound as good with me talking, but it should sound good with me playing. Okay. Let's see how we get on. That should be enough. Now, if I'm way out, I'll know not to do this ever again. Okay. Let me go back a wee bit. Okay. Go back even further. Now, to me, that sounds like it's in time. Now, if it isn't, you guys let me know, okay? But to me, that sounds like it is actually finally, they're kind of together. So if it sounds delayed, if any of you guys are listening to that and going, no, the whistle's way off or it's not in time with the bar on, please do let me know. Because I'm assuming that it's working, okay, just based on what I'm seeing on YouTube. So if it works for you guys, that's brilliant. Do let me know, and I'll use that as our backing for when we're learning accompanying some. I need a time. I need a metronome, and I don't want to use a clickety click metronome while I'm broadcasting on YouTube because it's just very boring to listen to. And I think having like a nice backing track makes all the difference. So if that's in time, do let me know. And if any of you guys want that backing track, do reach out and I'll send it to you as well, because it's stuff that I'm going to be using with my students, but it's it's not exactly stuff you would charge for. It's just a backing track, so let me know if it's something you're interested in. I'll be making them for loads of other things. At the moment it's just I'm focusing on the jigs. Get the jigs in A and minor, E minor, D and G out of the way, and then I'll move on to reels, on to polkas and other stuff. Okay, so that's that. It does work from my perspective. It works. Okie dokie. Our OBS microphone. And let's have a look for Alan's stuff. Now, I will put this up where I got this. I think it was Doug Plummer that I got this from. So I will let you guys know. Let me see, this would be in, I have to remember where I put everything in this computer now. My memory is not what it was. It's instrumental, funny enough. Yeah. Suzuki, of course. There he is. There we go. Okay. So I think it's going to be, no, it's going to be this one. Yeah. I know that by a different name. What is the name of this? There's 3 different keys for this thing. Oh my god. Get rid of that. Radio. Yeah. So there's 3 different keys we could possibly play it in. I'm just gonna see what Alan and Andrew McGill played in. Now, give credit where credit's due, guys. It's well worth checking out this YouTube video of them playing it. See if I can find it for you. Just look up Alan Murray. And Andrew McGill. Yeah. Another one I have to check out underneath from a year ago, but this one is from 3 years ago. And it's on Doug Plummer's YouTube channel. No relation to me. At least I don't think so. So yeah, this is from 3 years ago. I'm just going to hop in. Goodness, that was loud. And I'm going to try and get to the first track. I think it's about here, is it? Yeah.
Just adjustments, But
so this is the track.
Dive in and then talk about the music after. Just check it.
Okay, so this is the tune. Okay, so I don't want to just sit here and let you. I can let you guys watch the proper. Go to Doug's channel and watch the actual proper concert. The whole thing is there. It's like having another album, and from two of the best musicians on fiddle and bouzouki. Alan also plays guitar and other things as well. I think mandolin. And there's loads of different styles that Andrew plays on the fiddle as well. So it's well worth checking out that video. And also the other one. Yeah, I haven't checked that out yet either. The Ivan Goff as well on Uilleann Pipes from the looks of it. That'll be a heck of a one to check out. And this time Alan is playing on the guitar. So yeah, that's another one that I'm going to have to check out. Okay. So let's see if I can find the doodle-doo-doodle-doo-dum. I think that was the key, which is... Now, if I was to play that on the C whistle, yeah, okay, so that's going to be the one. Okay, it's this middle one I'm going to do on a C whistle. Okay, it's this middle one I'm going to do. That's one version of it. Let's try the other version. Let me see. I would try it in D this time. So 2 versions. Okay, now there's 2 versions that recorded. Let's see. Are any of them any good? So this is what I mean, that there's like 3 versions of this. Not going to go through a third one because it's all different fingering and it can actually get a wee bit tricky trying to, as you can tell, trying to work out which one I'm doing. Now that should be 2 versions of that track recorded anyway. One in D and one on a C whistle, but playing this one. So it's actually going to sound lowered, so it's going to sound like it's in G. Yeah, so that's going to be an unusual one. And then there's this one here. So that one is going to sound like it's in G, and this one should be in D. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so 2 different keys. Which one sounds better? Now the one that they're playing, I think, is in G Mixolydian. So that's the one that's on the YouTube track that Alan and Andrew play. So let's see if we can keep it in that. Now let's open this guy up in Vision. Okay, so maybe the second one will do from here. So I'm just going to do this. Get rid of that for a sec. So it doesn't sound like much because we don't have any accompaniment at the moment. Yeah, and it's a wee bit plickety plump, but sure, it'll do for now. Ooh. Okay. That'll do. Okay, so that one is the one that's in G. This one is the one that's in D. It's really quiet. It's the shush whistle. Shush whistle. So you can tell the difference between the 2 of them. Yeah, I need to turn this guy up a wee bit. Oh, no, not too much, my goodness. Okay, let's start in a proper place. There. Let's get rid of this. You can tell, like, you can even hear my fingers hitting the whistle because it has to be so close to this microphone. Whereas the other one, I had to push the microphone away. The wild whistle, really bright and loud. So, you know, you could have the microphone on the other side of the room. Whereas the shush whistle, you need shush whistle, you need to have it right up against the whistle. And by doing that, you end up picking up even my fingers. Some people like that actually in recordings. I know like people who listen to certain conductors because they can actually hear the conductor. You know, give expressive sounds as they're conducting. I try to get rid of that sound though. I don't like hearing my fingers, but okay, where does it stop? There we go. So we don't need this. So there's my 2 recordings. Well, for some reason the first one was like half as long again. And let's save them. Save as whatever into the desktop. They should appear. There we go. That's why Fission's really good for this type of stuff. Okay. That is the one in G. So this is the yellow wattle. There's another name for this. Let me look this up. This is annoying me that I can't remember the name of it. Always the session.org is the place to go. Oh, well, close enough. The yellow wattle. What's this? You know, Uncle Rat. Okay, yes, that's the song that I know. I think it was it Dervish or was it Danu? He sung that. Maybe it was Danu. I think it was Danu. Radio. No, it's not going to be the right key either. So what we'll do is we will try and add this into Alan's performance. Let me see. That's the yellow wattle. And I probably want this one. Okay. Let's see. It would be instruments, bouzouki. It would be Alan. It would be the yellow wattle. I'll put these 2 in here. Okay, so that's the yellow wattle in. Let me see. So that's in G Mixolydian. And this one is going to be in D Mixolydian, I think. Yeah. Okay, so we have the 2 tunes. Let's see, can we have a listen to the beginning? This is just the intro. Okay, so that's all it should be. This is going to be the intro. There's a lot in that. Okay, that's just the intro. But once you get the intro, that's kind of like the ingredients. It's almost like a wee overture to let you know of all the ideas that are coming up for the rest of the piece or the rest of the tune. So let's see if we can just add that in to maybe like pitch switch or something. just to slow it down a wee bit because there's no way I'll get that up in full speed. Okay, so in you go. Okay, so let me see if we put this to turn it down a wee bit. Okay, let me just do this. Let me see how loud that is, because that is quite a bright. Turn it down a wee bit. Yeah, there's a wee bit loud. Let's do this. Turn it down a wee bit. Ingredients. It's almost like a wee overture to let you know of all the ideas that are coming up. I'll get that up. Yeah, that needed to be turned down, definitely. It's very bright. Okay, so that should be more manageable, I think, at that level. Okay, 2 seconds here, guys. Something's gone completely haywire. Yeah, OBS has messed this up completely. Okay, let me just check tin whistle. Nope, that's all wrong. Sorry, guys. Just need to check something here. This explains a lot. If this is what was messing up all my audio over the last few weeks, is that, yeah, Stream Deck is updated and messed up my audios. Okay, let me see. That's fader. Where'd I go? Okay, I think, right, yeah, I think we're getting it now. This should be 1. Yeah. Apologies for this, guys. It should never have happened. Okay, so that's kind of fixed. Yeah. This one needs fixed as well. Yeah, it should be +1, not -1. There you go. Same with this one. Yeah, and same with this one. Wow. Okay. Radio. Well, that's that finally fixed from the looks of it, but yeah. What I need to do now is to go into my audio here. Yeah, something not quite right with OBS. Let's try that again. Mhm. Okay, so for me, it was just deafening. It was really, really loud. So I'm just going to make sure levels are back to normal. It's what happens when you update something. Take this down to about 60. Yeah. Okay, let's listen to it, see what it sounds like coming out of YouTube. Deafening. It was really, really loud. So I'm just going to make sure levels are back to normal. It's what happens when you update something. Okay, let's listen to it, see what it sounds like coming out. It's really, really quiet now. This is what's crazy is that it's deafening for me and really, really quiet for you guys. Okay, we'll do it until we get it. The intro. That should be it now. Hopefully, my goodness. How long does it take to get the audio right? Okay. That sounds about right. Wow. Yeah, we got there. Okay, note to self, always check Stream Deck. Make sure that when updates, it doesn't revert everything back to factory. So that should be able to slow, we should be able to slow that down and so it isn't deafening. Okay, so just like what we usually do, guys, when we're trying to figure out the accompaniment to something, or even if it's like a real, first thing you need to do is find, do you need a capo or not? So that's the first thing we're going to do. Let me just get the strumming, and also probably, so this sounds high, so we'll get the high part ready if we need it. There we go. Is warm better, I wonder? Maybe it is, you know. Yeah, I think those strings are a lot more visible and warm. I was doing them in white before. Well, actually, hold on. Just looking to see, are those strings more visible? This is white and this is warm. Actually, they're more visible in white. Okay. So it's definitely not without a capo. Capo 1-5. Which makes sense if we're going to be playing in G Mixolydian. So that's our starting position. Let me just get a few things ready here. That's what I'm hearing a lot of. Yeah, okay. And also we'll get the little chord up as well, just remind me. When the time comes, that's going to be our key. Okay, so let's just see, can we get what's going on here at the beginning? Okay, so and I think he slides up. The first idea. God, everything that can go wrong is going wrong. I think my camera's out of focus if you guys can actually make out my fingers as well. Yeah, it's just when it can go wrong, it will go wrong. I just want to make sure that I can get my fingers in focus. That's slightly out of focus. So that's the camera. So we got the sound sorted. Now we just need to get the picture sorted. Yeah, it wants to be updating as well. No, we're going to do that later. We're going to update that later, as I say. Okay, so if I go to focus in on the high part, that's a bit better now. I think actually just doing that, I think that was enough. There we go. So really what we're doing there, just that idea at the start. And you want a glissando, we want to slide up to that. Let's see if we can play that up to full spoil a little bit faster. a subtle. It's only when I slow it down that I realize I think he's doing a pull off there with that. See that da 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 dum. Yeah, nice wee sort of ornament if I can get it to go. Da 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 dum. So what we're doing there is kind of pulling off, so it's on a hammer on, it's a pull off, and that's on the up. So yeah. So what you're aiming to do there, really, for that, this is just the opening, Mega. There's so much. You want that driving rhythm first of all. Down, down, up, 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 down, down, up. Okay, that's the main thing. Is can you get the sort of driving rhythm? You definitely need that first of all. Okay, there's no shortcuts to that one. Now for the first wee part, there's a hammer on right away, right up until that 3rd fret, and then I strike it again from the 3rd fret, sliding up to the 5th. So you don't go up to the yeah. I don't do that. I think he slides up. So try practicing that to get from there in one sort of motion. Oops. Now this is the tricky wee part. Da 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 dum is what you're aiming for. But of course there's a pull off there. Okay, so this is going to be a slow one. Okay, let's see how that sounds if I just go live just to see. Does that... Yeah, okay, so that's the sort of volume we're aiming for. Radio. So that's the first wee part. Da 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 dum da 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 dum. Okay, what's the next part? If we just go from there onwards. So I think the second time around. I think. Let me hear. Ba, 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 ba. So. Okay, I'm just going to see if we can get at the rest of it. So the second part is pretty similar. The only difference is it's not... He doesn't go upwards hammer on. He starts right there. And I don't think there's a slide either. I think it just goes right up. Dun. Da 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 dum. Second time round. Okay, what's it this time round? Okay, that's an... Okay, so the style that's coming across here, I'm just going to change that. Yeah, I'm just going to bring it down a wee bit. Okay. There's one more I'm going to listen to, then I'll talk about the style. There's sort of a style that's beginning to emerge here that that I really, really like. This is sort of one of the reasons why I like Alan Murray's style of playing. It seems, I think, at a lot of Alan's style, there's a lot of variation, okay, on the third and second frets. The top fret, or the top fret, the third and second courses. The top course is like acting as an inverted pedal. It's like it's always there. So like there's 4 different things going on there. There's the first one, which was thing I'm not liking about having this all acoustic up like this, or plugged in, is this hit fourth course. I'm not even touching it, but I can hear it's vibrating, so every so often I have to bring my thumb in to dampen it, because you're not really meant to be hitting that at all. Like if I just left that, so it's just vibrating sympathetically and it just builds up over time. Hear it? That's what we're looking for. If I just do. That's the beginning of it. Let me just go back to the start of this lip, just to make sure that we've got it all. I think we do. it's up to full speed, so it is a heck of an introduction. Okay, so the first time it's the slide up. Okay, that's the first time. Yeah, let me have a listen to it again, because the second time is the one that sounds very samey. That's the first. Oh yeah. The heat is just making this really hard to play. I think that's all 4 parts. I'm just going to take it nice and slow just to be sure that we've got all 4 of them, because if you can get these 4 parts, this is going to be the majority, I think, of the piece is based around these opening 4 ideas. So the first one, usually that's easier to do than the way I'm making it. It's just a bit tricky today for some reason. That's where I messed up. The second time is you're hammering up without any slides this time. Third time then is yeah, I'm trying to be too precise of it. It's a lot more free than this, but I'm just trying to get every idea that he's doing. These are the 4 main ones. let's see, can we do that with the tune that we were recording earlier, which is going to be in the G, I think. Actually, you know what? Even with the bar on rhythm would be good, because just to keep us in time. Let's see if I can bring up the music, and we'll just have the accompaniment in the background. I think in the key of G, but it shouldn't really matter. We don't have any melody. Okay, just want to see what the level is of that as well. If I just go to live for a sec. And we'll just have the... We don't have any melody. It seems like we're on the right level as regards volume. Okay, that's good. Just keep that going in the background. Okie doke. Doodle doo doodle doo dum. And let's bring up the actual tune as well. Okay, so yeah, there's a couple of wee things we can do there. If we bring this into a new project and combine the two of them, we should actually have a nice sort of track in the background. Let me see. I'm just going to... Yeah. Show you guys what I'm doing here. Oh. Still very bright. Let me see. New project. Well, actually, no. We could take one of the older accompaniments and just duplicate it. I think that would be a good idea. So if we go into, let me see. Doodle-doo-dum. Ba-ba-ba-bum-ba-bum. Yeah, let me take the one that's in G and just duplicate this. And we're going to call this one Wattle. We don't get it mixed up with the other ones. Doodle-dum. This is just me preparing for the classes over the next few weeks, guys, where I will be going into more detail with the Bazooki stuff, you know, taking Alan Murray and Alec Finn's stuff apart and seeing if I can find little patterns for the students in the courses. So let's just drag in the audio. Be an instrumental, Bazooki, be in, oops, Alan Murray's stuff. Doodle-doo-doo. What does that sound like? Oh, it's a wee bit out. Okay. Yeah. Let's bring it straight in. Okay, so we can just loop this. This is what we're going to use as our accompaniment. Yeah, and from that point, we'll just split there, I think. Get rid of that and just copy that. Whoops. Copy this. And put them in here. Now, let's just see, make sure that lines up. Yeah, it does. Now we just keep copying that across the board. And it should line up with everything. Oh. Maybe too much. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so let's just bounce this and see what we end up with. Is there something we can accompany? So this is the Wattle. the whole thing. So it binds. It's gonna take a minute to go through all that because it's just the same thing for a good solid 10 minutes. Oh goodness. Heat is just unreal. I know for any of you guys who are in like in America or anything, this is 30 degrees plus is nothing to you guys, but for us it's that's the weakest thing for me for my playing. You see that little, I'll show you guys. Half the time I'm not making that. It needs to that's something I would need to practice. So down, hammer down, pull off, up, all on the same second course. Da 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 dum. I got it that time, but you see, whenever I'm not thinking of it, I forget. Yeah, it's also lifting that off that's creating that sort of I don't think there's any pull off or anything the second time around. Anyway, just to practice it. That's a little motif for my practice. So whenever you come across that's something you like the sound of, but it's a bit tricky, that's obviously something to mark in excuse me, like a practice journal or something where you think, right, for this session I'm not going to learn a new tune, I'm not going to learn any new chords, I'm just going to get this perfect. Okay, that should work. I've sort of put 4 ideas together to make it a bit more memorable. Okay, so let me just see if I'll just go back to desktop for a second just to see if what we have here. Yeah, Wattle. Let's see if that just for a sec. Probably don't need it now that we have the tune here, but I just want to make sure this actually works. There we go. Okay, let's see. Yeah, he's out. Apologies, guys. The heat is this intense, so it's going out of tune all the time. that in enough. That. I'm not too sure where it goes from that. I think it goes to the second chorus. That's what I'm looking for. I keep strumming it too early. I should wait. I should hold it onto the third fret, and then strum from the third fret up to there. I'm kind of strumming, but here, so I'm sliding up and then strumming. But I should strum like that. So I want to hear the slide. What you don't want is that. I'm doing that. That's too quick. You're not giving the listener time to actually hear the. You want to be able to hear that nice and clear. So it's better to think of striking on this note. So you're going ba ba bum, and then sliding from that F to the G bum. You don't want to go too far. Okay, so you get an idea that how far I'm going to be going with this. I'm going to be like trying to get every single little idea, and that's just the intro. That's not even the start of the piece. So there's a whole live that I've done. Well, the first half of a live anyway, just on the introduction to this one tune, because there's 3 or 4 ideas in there. There's the inverted pedal at the top. There's the idea of all hammer on, and then from that strike again and slide up. And a pull off there. comes after all that. My goodness. Radio. Let's see, can we do it with... Okay, I think I'm halfway to getting the intro. Yeah, that's all. Okay, let's see, can we go back and just cut up the next section, the next part of the tune. And I probably won't do too much else tonight with it because I think I have to wait for sensible temperatures to return for recording. Everything's just going way in and out. I think we managed pretty well. Let's see. Aye, I'm back. Radio. And also get that down to 20%. Thank you. Okay, so that's what we were doing. Actually, there was one little thing I missed there. Ba 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 bum dum. That little da at the end. Da. It's right about here. There. That little da dum. That's the sort of lead in into the next part. Okay, so we're doing really well having the actual tune there too if we need it. I'm just going to keep all of this. I won't be doing much with these. It's just to have something to practice with. Okay, so yeah, that's all 3 tunes, but I just want the yellow Wattle one. So yeah, I'm just going to take that out of there actually and open it with Vision because I'm just going to do this one tune at a time. here. If you listen to the original guys off YouTube, what you'll find is that when Doug Plummer was making that video, I think they were using one of those really expensive, but I really want one of these microphones that, you know, you just set in the middle of the room or in front of the players, and depending exactly on their relationship to the microphone, you know, if you're on the right, it'll record into the right. If you're on the left, it'll record into the left. And yeah, so you actually, when you're listening to it in the headphones, you hear like one instrument coming out of one side and another instrument coming out of the other side. So bouzouki on one side and fiddle on the other. So if you're wondering why is the fiddle so quiet, that's why. And obviously I want you guys to go to the original video and listen to it properly. This is just to get the bouzouki. Yeah, so that's the next tune there. So again, let's just save as. Oh, where did that go when I clicked save as? Users there. Where is that? Oh, okay. Did I make a new... Okay, made a new thing. I don't know how I did that, but there you go. I'm not going to complain. So yeah, yellow wattle's going to go into the yellow wattle. We'll do the other one. What's the other one? Money in both pockets. Kelly the Rake. Is that right? Is there 3 tunes in this? I think there is, and I've got, you know, right. Doesn't matter. So this will be something that we'll do much later on. When we do like all 3 of them together as a set. Money in both pockets, though, is a really good tune. And that is where the other one's going to go. And the Kelly the Rake, or the Kellys, I think, is going in a different tune. Okay. Right, so if I just get rid of that for a sec, I should have that here, shouldn't I? Yeah. Okay, so this should just be the yellow wattle, and it's bouzouki only because that's all that we're trying to do. I can't play fiddle, so if only. Okay, let's put him in now. We're chopping everything up, as you can see. This is just to show you what I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks with the practice with me. Excuse me. Oh, my goodness. Excuse me. So, yeah, the practice with me sessions. So you see what I mean, that the accompaniment, if you get the intro, you're going to get quite a bit of the rest of it, because the rest of it is very similar in style to the intro. Yeah, there's a lovely little bit there as well that we'll do. Okay, it's going to take down the... Yeah, so it's cut off quite a bit, as you can see. It's very loud. Okay, let's just bring that down as well, just so that these peaks are with the same as the rest of it. Yeah, probably about there. Okay, so the second part begins here. This is the first half. Okay, so it should actually just be a little bit later than that. It should be here. Yeah, it should be about there then. Still a wee bit late. You see, I'm always a wee bit overly cautious. Try it from here. There we go. Okay, the next part. That's going to be here, I think. And again, here. And again, I think here. Yeah, that's good enough. So it just means that, you know, we can save out, I think, the first one, 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 ones here, it's the A and the B section. That's the intro, remember? So if we were to actually write in what each of these are, just so we don't forget. Yeah. So this is the yellow wattle. The yellow wattle, and this is just the introduction that we're going to try and study. Okay, and then this is the yellow wattle, the A section that we're going to try and study. You could easily, guys, spend weeks just going through the whole tune. We're just going to take little parts of it. So I'm going to call it A1. And then this one will be A2. And this one will be B1. Oops. And this one will be B2. So if I want to go save these now, what way do they, yeah, they actually come out with the titles this time. That's good. And I'm just going to change the path to the desktop just so I can actually see them. Yeah, not really too worried about the other ones, to be honest, as long as we get these guys. Okay, so that's the intro. Start giving them, you know, numbers as well. That's 1. Obviously, this then is going to be 2. This one will be 3. So, yeah, it just means that when we put them into pitch switch to slow everything down and figure out what's going on, we can do it in order now. It's handy. So let's just say we wanted to do the A1 now. I can just open up pitch switch and just drag it in and slow it down. Don't need Fission open just yet. There we go. So what does it sound like? Okay. Da, 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 da. It's got that sort of bump rhythm. But maybe just to figure that out, let's have a wee listen again. Dum da dum da dum da dum. Yeah, so I think for that first A1, it's da da and dum. I think that's what happens at the end. Da da and dum. Almost, I think. Okay, so what am I doing there? This is what I think. Well, I wasn't planning on even doing this, but I think we may even have the first A. Yeah, okay, that's gonna be fun. Now let's see, does that work? I shouldn't have done that. Okay, let's see. Well, why the hell not? Let's have a go. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But there's no idea if it does. Here we go. Yeah, so it follows the tune, and that's something that, amazing bouzouki players like Alan Murray and, well, all of them, I suppose, Andy Irvine and, Yeah, Donald Lunny, every single bouzouki player I know who I listen to, who has albums out and professional players, they follow the tune very, very closely and add in counter melodies around it. They could probably play the tune, without having to do anything else. But if you think of the da 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 dum da da dum da da da. Let's hear we listen again. Yeah, so maybe handy. I don't know the tune on the bouzouki. I know it on the whistle, but I'm just figuring out if there's any wee other ideas we could add in. But I think just keeping it nice and simple for the first day would be good. Okay, let's do that again. That was lovely. Yeah, so you can see why it's really, really handy to have like an accompaniment thing. So like for anybody who's thinking about what's the best way to practice, it's really, really good, I think, to have some sort of accompaniment device like this where you're not just relying on a metronome, although you should do it for slow practice, when you've got a metronome going. Yeah, it sort of keeps you in time for the slow practice. I just tend to slow things down and pitch switch and do it that way because it's going to be in time with the real person playing anyway. So yeah, that's the way I do it. But if you don't have pitch switch, then metronome is the way to go. If you do have pitch switch, and especially if you're able to use like even the backing tracks that I've made for you, you can have that. And then have like the tune, you can get the tune anywhere, even off the session.org, but and have that with the accompaniment. The accompaniment here is like 120. If you have pitch switch, you can slow that down as well. Like I can drag this into pitch switch and slow down the whistle. So what does that sound like if I do that? Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it might be handy even learning the tune that way too. Let's put the intro back in just to be sure. Listen, that's really annoying. I need to practice. Sometimes it comes out. It should be this, guys. I'll slow it down. So when I speed it up that I miss it. So that's a huge indication that I don't have that right in my head. So if I slow it down, it should be this. Actually, it should be this. Might have gotten the third and fourth one mixed up there. Something like that. Okay, well that's more than enough to be getting on with, where I can make a proper video going through that as soon as I practice it. So as usual, guys, when it comes to this part of the week, you're getting a little sneak peek, I suppose, into what I'm doing for the practice with me sessions. So I want to probably break down the A section a bit more, the repeat of it, and also the B section, and sort of bring the two of them together. And then that way we'll at least have one playing of the tune, you know, once the whole way through. But just like Olivia Barrett on the fiddle, it's the same with Alan Murray. Like he's never going to play it exactly the same way, you know, each time. So, you know, I will be listening to the second and third times, maybe fourth time. I don't know how many times he plays it. And just to see, is there anything else that I'm missing? You know, little ideas that we can incorporate here and there, and there's probably going to be loads. So the good thing about this is that all of these little ideas are interchangeable, and after a while of, you know, serious practice like this, when you're breaking and deconstructing something down into its little, you know, units and its little ideas, its little motifs, you should be able to apply that to any aspect of your accompanying. Now that's the goal. And for any one of my students here in my courses, the mini or the full course, once you're able to do that, where you're able to, you know, sit down and listen to somebody of that quality and be able to pick apart what they're doing and rehash their ideas, you don't really need me anymore. But you've already paid for the lifetime access to the course anyway, so you're not really using up any extra learning materials that way. So yeah, if there are tunes that you guys want to learn, as usual, like and subscribe to the channel, and also let me know in the comments if there's other things you want to learn, because this is going to be it for a while, I reckon. You know, really sort of getting stuck into Alan Murray's playing, which I am a great admirer of, and I will be going back to Olivia's as well, and probably trying to get my own tin whistle ones in. So be a bit of a mix from now on. And I've also, because this is like an Ask Me Anything, if you do have any other questions about any, you know, parts to music in general, like theory or oral, or, you know, the actual history of it, or practice ideas, or you need access, you need any materials, just let me know. And I'll do my best to help you out. So we'll leave it there tonight, guys. And yeah, we'll pick it up next week with a practice with me on Tuesday at 6:15. So again, log into that and I'll see you there for continuing on with our accompanying patterns and the yellow wattle. That'll be good fun, I think. Okay, look, we'll leave it there, guys. See you next time. All the best.